John Wayne was frequently questioned about the highlights of his illustrious career in the last years of his life. Stories about legendary directors, huge westerns, or the conflicts that turned him into a Hollywood legend were what people anticipated. Rather, among all the actors and actresses he collaborated with, he often talked of the folks who had spent those memorable years with him. A few women continued to hold a special place in his heart. They were more than just co-stars. They were talented professionals, dependable friends, and, in some situations, the faces that typified a whole Hollywood age. Wayne appeared in almost 170 movies throughout his nearly 50 years in front of the camera. He collaborated with some of the best actresses in film history during that incredible voyage. Each of them contributed something unique to the screen. As an actor, he was challenged by some. His most notable performances were shaped by a few. Some formed friendships that persisted long after the end of filming. Wayne found himself thinking about those well-known faces more frequently as the years went by and many of them vanished from Hollywood. Those closest to him recognized that despite his tough exterior, he was devoted to the individuals he respected. He never forgot the men and women who had supported him before he rose to prominence in America. He hardly ever mentioned honors or celebrity while thinking back on Hollywood's heyday. He talked about the individuals who gave those years significance. John Wayne reflected on a number of women who had made a lasting impression on his life prior to his death in 1979. Some aided at the beginning of his career. Others developed lifelong friendships. But one held a position that was distinct from everyone else's. One of the most cherished collaborations in Hollywood history was formed between them. Even decades later, Wayne acknowledged that no one was quite like her. Today, we're taking a look back at the 5 ladies that John Wayne never really stopped missing, concluding with the lady who many considered to be both his best on-screen collaborator and one of his most cherished friendships. Claire Trevor is number 5. John Wayne was an actor waiting for the part that would transform his life before he rose to become the undisputed king of Hollywood westerns. Stagecoach brought that event to life in 1939. The movie, which was directed by John Ford, gave Wayne access to a larger audience and started the career he had always dreamed of. Wayne, however, never thought he accomplished that feat by himself. Claire Trevor, his co-star, was one of the individuals he gave praise to. Trevor was already a highly regarded actress in Hollywood when the filming of Stagecoach started. She contributed experience and self-assurance to an uncertain production. Trevor stayed composed, professional, and kind to everyone on site while Wayne was under pressure to establish himself as a leading man. Wayne respected such attributes right away. Trevor portrayed Dallas on screen, a lady who was determined to maintain her dignity despite being criticized by society. Her subdued performance was the ideal counterpoint to Wayne's tough and repressed Ringo Kid. Stagecoach became one of the best westerns ever made because audiences trusted their bond since it seemed real rather than manufactured. Wayne frequently thought back on how the movie had permanently altered his life years later. He was aware that John Ford had given him the chance, but he also realized that the movie was successful because each actor gave a standout performance. Wayne never forgot that Claire Trevor was a major factor in the story's popularity. Wayne always looked back on Claire Trevor with admiration. Even if their careers ultimately diverged, she was the start of it all. She was present when his dream finally came true, before the accolades, before the notoriety, and before he became an American legend. That made Claire Trevor an actress that John Wayne will remember for the rest of his life. Patricia Neal, number 4. Throughout his career, John Wayne had a lot of admiration for actresses, but few had the same profound effect on him as Patricia Neal. Neal had already established himself as one of Hollywood's best dramatic actors by the time they collaborated on In Harm's Way in 1965. Wayne thought it was impossible to teach her the emotional honesty she brought to every part. Wayne soon noticed Neal's extraordinary self-assurance on the set. She never made an effort to control a situation or attract attention to herself. Rather, she gave the story her all attention, making every moment seem genuine. Wayne valued that strategy because he thought the top actors served the movie rather than their own reputations. Neal's tenacity away from the camera was what made her even more inspirational. Many thought her acting career was ended after a string of severe strokes in the middle of the 1960s. She achieved a remarkable recovery and made a comeback to the screen after years of rehabilitation and perseverance. Wayne greatly admired that strength. Patricia Neal exemplified the spirit of perseverance, which he frequently appreciated. Wayne never forgot the experience of working with her, despite the fact that they did not collaborate on many movies. He thought she embodied the professionalism that had made Hollywood's heyday so memorable. He was affected for the rest of his life by her modest confidence, extraordinary talent, and unwavering tenacity. When John Wayne thought about the actresses he admired the most, Patricia Neal was one of them. She reminded him that genuine greatness was determined by courage, decency, and the will to keep going no matter how challenging the path became, in addition to talent. Lauren Beale is number 3. Although John Wayne has collaborated with several of the biggest names in Hollywood, Lauren Beale stood out when they collaborated on Blood Alley in 1955. Viewers witnessed two powerful on-screen characters sharing the limelight. It was not necessary for each to dominate the other. Every scenario felt smooth because of their self-assurance, charm, and organic presence. Long before they became co-stars, Wayne had a deep admiration for Beale. She had already made a name for herself as one of Hollywood's most esteemed actors, renowned for her wit, intelligence, and distinctive voice. She exuded the same self-assurance off-screen that viewers witnessed on screen. Beale never attempted to be someone else, and Wayne valued individuals who remained loyal to themselves. The two formed a cordial working relationship based on respect during the filming process. Beale gave Wayne the finest possible challenge. She created a connection that felt realistic and balanced by matching his on-screen persona without attempting to mimic it. Beale was one of the actors Wayne subsequently commended for their ability to enhance a situation just by being truthful in their performances. Wayne never forgot the experience, even though they only collaborated on one movie. Lauren Beale, in his opinion, embodied everything that made Hollywood's golden generation unique. She blended strength and grace, brilliance with modesty and professionalism, and sincere compassion for people around her. Wayne frequently thought back on the outstanding actresses who had accompanied him on his journey as the years went by. He continued to recall Lauren Beale with a great deal of admiration. She was more than just a gifted co-star. She was among the women who reminded him that genuine movie stars were characterized by their on-screen and off-screen personas in addition to their notoriety. Katharine Hepburn is number 2. Even though John Wayne and Katharine Hepburn never went on to become one of Hollywood's most well-known on-screen couples, Wayne still held her in high regard. In actuality, Hepburn was one of the few actors who really exemplified the trait that he frequently admired, staying true to oneself. She developed a career by defying Hollywood standards, and her talent, tenacity, and unflinching confidence helped her become one of the most renowned actors in history. Despite the stark differences in their professional paths, Wayne kept a close eye on Hepburn's accomplishments. She gained a reputation for taking on difficult parts and giving performances that were real rather than glitzy. Wayne thought that kind of dedication was admirable. He never questioned her great talent as an actress, despite their occasional political disagreements and divergent worldviews. Hollywood has attempted to categorize its top stars into straightforward groups. However, Wayne recognized that brilliance might take many different shapes. Hepburn stood for a distinct form of power. Colleagues in the industry respected her for her fearlessness, outspokenness, and total independence. Wayne valued those who upheld their beliefs despite the fact that they were unpopular. Wayne kept praising the actresses who had improved American film as the years went by. Katharine Hepburn was consistently one of them. He realized that, more than any leading male, she had contributed to the definition of Hollywood's golden period. Her impact went well beyond accolades and commercial success. Her genuineness and commitment to her art influenced generations of performers. Wayne always thought Hepburn was one of the best actors of her generation, even though they never had the long-lasting on-screen relationship that many fans might have hoped for. She remained one of the outstanding ladies he continued to admire till the conclusion of his own extraordinary trip because of her extraordinary career, courageous personality, and unshakable professionalism. Maureen O'Hara is number 1. Maureen O'Hara was the actress that viewers most naturally connected with John Wayne. Over the course of more than 20 years, they appeared in 5 iconic movies together, forming one of the most cherished collaborations in Hollywood history. Every time they appeared together on film, viewers thought they belonged. Their connection felt natural and was based on genuine affection, laughter, and trust rather than dramatic romanticism. They first worked together at Rio Grande in 1950, and it quickly became evident that something special had transpired. Director John Ford recognized their natural connection and continued teaming them in films such as The Quiet Man, The Wings of Eagles, McClintock, and Big Jake. Each performance enhanced their reputation as one of Hollywood's greatest cinematic duos. Rumors followed them for decades. Fans sometimes wondered if their relationship had gotten romantic away from the cameras. Wayne and O'Hara constantly refuted those claims. They maintained that their relationship was founded on a close friendship and respect for one another. Wayne was impressed by O'Hara's professionalism, strength, and intelligence. O'Hara frequently referred to him as one of her best pals in Hollywood. Their friendship remained strong over the years. They kept in touch and continued to speak well of one another in interviews even after they were no longer working together on movies. Wayne consistently complimented O'Hara's skill, describing her as one of the most resilient and trustworthy performers he had ever collaborated with. That was one of the greatest compliments he could provide for a man who placed a high value on loyalty. Maureen O'Hara was devastated at John Wayne's death in 1979. Later, she spoke passionately about losing a lifetime friend who had supported her during some of the most memorable years of Hollywood's golden age, in addition to a legendary co-star. In retrospect, it is evident why Maureen O'Hara continued to work as an actress. John Wayne was always absent. She embodied a time when two exceptional actors could create cinematic magic just by sharing the screen, when friendship was more important than celebrity, and when trust was developed over years rather than headlines. Maureen O'Hara had the most lasting and profound impact on John Wayne's heart of all the actresses he encountered. Even legends are remembered by those who stood by them, but John Wayne's legacy was based on bravery, tenacity, and remarkable performances. Upon reflection on his extraordinary career, it is evident that the actresses he most liked were never selected just on the basis of their celebrity. When his trip really started, Claire Trevor was there. He respected Patricia Neal because of her outstanding talent and tenacity. He was struck by Lauren Beale's professionalism and self-assurance. Even from a distance, Katharine Hepburn embodied the courageous character he respected. But Maureen O'Hara rose above them all. Because viewers could see the sincere trust they shared each time they appeared together, rather than because of rumors or headlines, their collaboration became one of Hollywood's biggest success stories. Their friendship endured through shifting times and the end of Hollywood's heyday, lasting far longer than any one movie. Ultimately, John Wayne didn't evaluate people based on accolades, public recognition, or popularity. He cherished character, loyalty, and the memories made over many years of collaboration. For him, those attributes were far more significant than anything said by gossip columnists or published in newspapers. Maybe that's why these women were so memorable. They brought back memories of a time when Hollywood was based on skill, enduring friendships, and respect for one another. They stood for a time that would never be fully replicated. Even now, decades after John Wayne's death, his tale cannot be separated from these outstanding actresses. New generations are still motivated by their performances. However, their friendships serve as a reminder that every Hollywood icon was shaped by others. John Wayne never lost those memories. They remained by his side until the very end, demonstrating that some of the best Hollywood partnerships were characterized by a lifetime of admiration, thankfulness, and unwavering respect rather than romance.